What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Motorfest. So I do want to look at the Honda Civic Type R Fitted Edition. This car was part of like the Ultimate Edition of Motorfest. So the big question is, are you actually missing out by not having this car? And is it really going to be a good overall vehicle to use? So I will jump into this car here in a quick second, but I have to admit this, guys, I am so dang happy we have a new Civic Type R and not this thing. Like, don't get me wrong, the 2016 isn't ugly. I guess. I mean, okay, you know what? No, it is not a good looking car, I guess we can say. Like, let me know in the comments below what you guys actually think of the 2016 Civic Type R. I do want to know your thoughts, and I really haven't seen anyone really talk positive about this vehicle. But besides that, guys, we also have this thing in Need for Speed Unbound, which is very sad for that matter. But we luckily have a 2021 Civic Type R. Now, I do want to test out the fitted edition. This thing was obviously part of like the main Ultimate Edition of the game, so the big question is, how is this thing actually going to be? And you can see it does obviously have a big wide body kit on it. You will also see the rims do now have like a yellow going around instead of like a red, so at least we are seeing some type of detail with the car. Now, obviously, the regular Civic Type R does tend to have like the red around the rim, or like I do also think a lot of the Civic Type Rs do not have like the actual yellow line going around it, and or for that case, it would actually be a red. But regardless, though, guys, you can also see like a big wide body kit on this vehicle, and I really do like the way that wing looks. It's kind of like half painted. I also thought you can actually see like the carbon fiber on like the top of the wing, but obviously that is not going to be a thing on there. And overall, I wouldn't really say that's going to be a big issue, but of course this is a Civic, so you guys will see like the carbon fiber going around like the front splitter and or like the side skirts, which really does look insanely good. Plus you also have like the yellow mirrors on the side, and I really do think the livery for some odd reason does fit this car nicely, and you can also see how like the yellow headlights do look good. I was kind of mixed on that, but it does make the car like almost like a menacing type of look, so that does honestly look great. Plus we also have the red signature Type R seats, which by the way are insanely comfortable in real life as well. I've never driven one of these cars, but I really would love to actually drive a Civic Type R in real life. But overall though, guys, you can also look at some of the vanity items, and you can also remove the underglow, and I would probably say most people are probably going to do so, and I don't think anyone actually wants that or that on there. But regardless though, guys, you can also add like a window tint to the vehicle so you can dark it out, which is... Wait a second, that's only the front Oh, okay, that makes a lot more sense. So yeah, you actually can make the entire car like tinted. I was about to say, imagine only having the front piece tinted. That would look so weird, but at least you can do the entire car, guys. You can also add horns, and of course the audio signatures like the V8. You can also add the V6 Turbo JDM and or, some of the other ones from the playlist. So at least you do have the option to add on some of these audio signatures. Do keep in mind, guys, not every car can actually have these on them, which I would say is probably going to make a lot of sense, at least depending on the version of that car. But we also have the rooftop vanity items from the Crew 2, and that is definitely something I will not be adding, but at least you do have the option if you do want to add them to the vehicle. And overall, guys, I would probably say the fitted edition does look pretty dang cool. I would like to know your thoughts on the vehicles in the Ultimate Edition, by the way, guys. What do you think? I would like to know in the comments below. I will also be doing the 718 as well, so definitely stay tuned for that. But overall, though, guys, let's go do an outside look of this vehicle right now and also take this thing on a test drive. We are now outside with the Type R Fitted Edition, guys. Now, I have to admit, I'm not the biggest fan of that underglow. It does look kind of odd, but I guess I can live with that for now. But overall, this car does look great here in the lighting. I do believe it's like nighttime and or like dusk-ish. I'm also hearing a lot of birds chirping in the background and or a dog barking as well, so that's pretty interesting. But I think we can all agree that one bird that woke us up in the morning was honestly iconic. Now let's start this thing up here. Okay, sounds pretty good. So I'm sure a lot of people do know the Civic Type R in real life obviously does not make a lot of sound stock, which is not necessarily going to be a bad thing. I do know some people do not like the sound of the Type Rs, but that can easily be fixed with like a downpipe and or like some headers and or like decatting. That thing would most likely make it a lot louder. But you can also sometimes hear like the turbo spool up on it, and or I think it's like fake cabin noise inside, but And now moving over to the interior detail of the Civic Type R, first glance looks absolutely insane. Like, you can legitimately see the detail of the buttons on the steering wheel and or like the AC controls and stuff. And of course the screen is just going to say Type R, but to be honest, they can't really add much of anything into that. Now, I would say guys, one piece of detail they could maybe do is like, I guess like a GPS and or like a mini version of the map would be kind of cool, but I really do love the way the seats look in the Type R and or like the interior in this car is beautiful. I've always really liked these in real life too. I think they're great cars, but you also see on the dash here now indeed you have the RPM reader. Not only that guys, you also have the lights in the middle which do work, which is kind of surprising. With all that being said though, we have to take a listen to this engine and see how it sounds. I really do love the attention to detail in this game, guys. Like, that is actually really cool. Not only that, listen to this car in the interior. But now, besides all that, we have to go see how this car does drive. So the first thing I really noticed about Motorfest, at least with Street Tier 1, is they're not going to be as fast as Street Tier 2, which I would probably say does make a lot of sense. Like, you're not going to see a Honda Civic Type R racing a Lamborghini Huracan. That would be insane. So I would say it is going to make a lot more sense having vehicles being a little bit slower and or being in like a separate class. That way you can race them and or not actually feel like you might be losing or something like that. So I really do like the fact that they did do that. Now, this thing is definitely going to be front wheel drive, obviously. So I would say it is going to handle a bit differently here. Oh my, dude. That was, yeah, I hit a Ford. I always run into Fords. I really don't know why. But right now, guys, I'm currently cruising at 100 and about 30 something miles an hour. Let's do a quick top speed run here. And as I did mention before, many of these vehicles are not going to be as fast. So I do believe when I tested the Cobra, which by the way, I will be doing that car as well. Stay tuned for that. I think I got it to like 190. So I wouldn't say they're going to be as slow, but let's see what we can get to here. So with the Civic, okay, 187 is pretty decent. So 185, 187-ish. I would probably say around 180 to like maybe 190 is going to be a decent overall top speed for these. And I would say considering like the vehicle classes these might be in real life, that would most likely make a lot of sense. But overall, guys, I do like the way this car does feel. Even in first person mode, it looks great. I do know a lot of people most likely drove the Civic in that one event, but overall, guys, I really do love, like, look at this. I love how it grips like that. You can actually feel the car gripping. Do keep in mind, once again, I am indeed running regular pro settings on my vehicle, so I think we can all agree the handling model in Motorfest is not even close to the Crew 2. I think it's Kaisha Spirit? Kaisha? Regardless though, guys, I do want to test out the Civic Type R in this event, so similar to the other one I did do with the other car, I ended up putting this on level 5 difficulty, so they are most likely going to be insanely quick. Now, do keep in mind I am indeed in Street Tier 1, so these cars are obviously not going to be insanely quick, but obviously the AI are most likely not going to understand that. But overall, first impressions of driving the Civic Type R Fitted Edition, guys, I have to admit, I like this thing. I actually think it's a pretty cool car. I do like the way the body kit does look. I would probably say if I was going to drive this car, though, I would most likely remove that underglow. That just looks kind of ridiculous, but the overall, like, livery on the vehicle does look kind of nice, and I do like the way the spoiler, plus, like, the back piece is yellow. Like, it is a really nice-looking car. Chad, can you please? Thank you. I really do think this car is going to be pretty dang fun to drive, though. Now, do keep in mind, guys, I have not tested out many of the cars in this game at all, so I will have to do more of that, but so far, I really do like the balancing of the Street Tier 1 and or the Street Tier 2. I feel like both vehicles, and or I guess you can say both vehicle classes, are going to be insanely fun to use and or very well balanced, but one of the main reasons why I wanted to pick this race is because of this area of road here, so I can test out the way this car does handle, and of course I am running base pro settings on this vehicle, so I do want to see what it can do. I will also be pretty much using all of these cars in future summits without pro settings, and the biggest test with that is to really see if you can get platinum, even though you're like not the best like pro setting vehicle out there. But regardless though, guys, I would say this car is going to be pretty decent, and battling the crazy AI on level 5, which to be honest, I have not tested this, but is there truly a reason to have this on level 5 besides the XP? Who actually knows? But let's see what this car can do here for acceleration. So I did notice, by the way, even having nitrous, so obviously I do not have a chemist set. I think I have like all blue and or purple on this, so I think I have like maybe one gold part and it's not on this car. Pretty helpful, right? But I would say having a full nitro chemist might make it slightly faster with how you can use more nitrous, but even then I have been noticing, guys, that nitrous isn't catching the vehicle like it was before, and that's most likely due to the fact that this is indeed a front-wheel drive vehicle, so maybe having the nitrous hit and all that might be slightly different, but overall, though, I do like the way this car handles, especially for being a stock vehicle, and you really can mess around with the settings on some of these cars, guys, but one thing I have learned, even if you do mess around with their settings, they can sometimes be worse. So my initial send-off thoughts on the Civic Type R Fitted Edition, I would have to give this car like a 9 out of 10 overall. For me, I'd probably go a 10 out of 10, but I know I basically can't give every single car that rating, but at least, guys, for a Street Tier 1 vehicle, this thing's honestly pretty incredible. It handles great. It sounds insane. I really have to give it to Ubisoft. Like, every vehicle I've driven so far, they all sound amazing, and I really do feel like they actually killed that. Plus, like, the first person driving on this car feels insane, guys. Like, you can feel the car gripping, and you also have that really cool wheel animation. I love this game, honestly, and I really do feel like a lot of people would actually enjoy Motorfest. Like, this game is so dang fun, guys. Even racing in first-person mode is such a dang blast on this road in the Civic, but I would like to know your thoughts on this car in the comments below, and my goodness. As always, guys, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more insight.